Table or truth?
Okay, right on. Oh, sorry. You know how this shite is. We're just trying to get capture lightning in a bottle if we have any. But I like this, man. I mean, did we come up with a? Did we conclude the name for
I don't think so,
Truth,
but
Truth Talks? I think you said right, or Truth Table. I think Truth Table should be it.
okay.
Another smashing episode of Truth Table today. Or we can talk about
Because Sarah came up with the table for two.
Table for Two is all right, but I think you texted me and you said Truth Table.
Oh, actually, it was I turned table for two to table for truth, and then you can shorten it up to truth table. That works too.
I think I think Truth Table is the last thing you wrote to me. That was
But I think it was.
when I heard that, I was like, "That's the name right there."
I think it was table for the number four, and then truth, because that was a takeoff of Sarah's table for two.
Table for Truth. All right, Table for Truth.
No,
You know what? No, Truth Table's kind of cookie cutter. Table for Truth for now
no.
until we get a lot of hate mail if we ever have this as a proper show.
There's nothing wrong with truth table if you want to roll that way. I'm good.
No, Table for Truth. Table for Truth is good.
Okay.
It's not bad. It rings pretty good. Truth Table is a little cookie cutter. I agree. It's been brought to you today by Colossal Crunch and Quaker Oats and some Hood Milk. So for those of you who are carb depleted, this is a very good combination for food on a Monday night when you're just trying to rush a meal quickly.
What was the powder you put in there?
I didn't put any powder. It was just
No, there was something in the thing that you sprinkled
oh,
over it.
that would have been Quaker Oats.
So that's
to give it a little granola, and then for flavor, Colossal Crunch, which is a bastardization of Crunch Berries, by General Mills or whoever makes those, and it tastes just as good. Honestly, I haven't gotten sick yet, so I think it's going to be a go for my me and my family.
So it's just raw oats.
Yeah, raw oats, man. Okay. Way to go, like a barbarian, So within the last week, I don't want to go back and revisit the Andrew Tate thing, but I think the thing that really got me miffed was there was one thing, and I could find the video, mind you, where he was starting to talk against the World Economic Forum, and that video was just washed clean off YouTube. I don't know why you can't have an opinion about the World Economic Forum.
No, but you don't know why it was washed off.
I will never know now, but I don't know why. I mean, all this makes me feel is like the said establishment or the person who is not, granted, nobody likes being ridiculed. Okay, me too. I'm not a big fan of it, but I mean, it just comes with the territory. As long as it's not like vitriolic and hateful. I mean, you got to be at least intelligent. I try to be respectful, right? We can't laugh at our own idiosyncrasies. We're not really trying. But when the World Economic Forum somehow like presses a magic button and goes, like, we're not even going to let people listen to his side, because if he's such an idiot, well, then realistically, we got a fan in the back there. That's all good.
No.
We if he's such an idiot, then I want to hear how much of an idiot he is, so I can just judge for myself. That's it.
But again, you don't know why it was.
I won't. But like, I'd like to. I don't know why this is such a problem. Like World Economic Forum, they should be able to just be like, we're not even daunted by his words. We're not going to go out of our way to censor something like this, because the truth is, it's bullshit. And you'll be like, okay, then let me listen and hear it for myself, and I'll make my own conclusion, because I'm a grown adult. And I'll probably agree with the World Economic Forum, because we know that they're the patron saints of justice and good economic policy for everybody in the human race, right? So
Andrew Tate.
I want to hear what he has to say. And no, I'm not being sarcastic.
Well, yeah, because a week ago you haven't heard of this guy, and now all of a sudden you want to hear what he has to say.
I said to myself, I owe it to myself to do research, because honestly, that's what a really good intellectual does. Whether for the good or the bad, the ugly, or the unfortunate truths, I just need to know what's going on. What kind of an adult would I be if I can't face the uglier sides of reality? in my pursuit of truth. Table for truth, right? I mean, why am I doing this? You know, so I'm just thinking in my head, I want to know what the hell's the deal with this guy. Take the average of all the stupid things he said.
Yeah, but you've watched other.
I saw a couple of videos. I actually saw another video where, yes, he was very callous and insincere towards, no, I shouldn't say insincere. He was very callous and heavy-handed towards a bunch of young women that were doing a radio podcast with him. And he was kind of letting him have it the way I suppose a hard-boiled migrant aunt would have said likewise to several of those girls that were they were all like young women in their like 20s. And he's telling them flat out, your idea of, self-entitlement or the trends that you're picking up to always just think of yourself and just enjoy the pleasures of life and not really think about bigger purposes may end up biting you in the ass one way or another. And 50 years from now, when you're the age of my grandmother, you may be looking back, and if you haven't like found the proper like healthy protocol to find like good relationships in your life, and maybe you don't have kids or whatever, because some of them were like, yeah, we don't want kids, and that's understandable. They're young. Some of them weren't just in their early 20s though, and now that I think of it, yeah, it was like a mix of like women between. I mean, you can watch the video online, but like these women were definitely not straight out of college. Some look like they were pretty young. Some look like they were maybe late 20s, early 30s. And granted, no male can say how tough that's got to be for the postmodern female to make these tough decisions in life where you want to balance a career and family and everything else. The ugly reality of life is that and I'm going to throw men in here too, like like young men, young women, we're all pushed to like, pursue career, pursue some semblance of fame or whatever. We're not taught to think ahead and balance out the finite timelines of our lives, like biologically of just what happens, And so people like set themselves up, and they may have meant well and set themselves up for a certain like echelon of status or achievement in their life. But if it's not also prepared for the future, and I'm saying this to myself because this scares the crap out of me sometimes, practicing developing healthy friendships, practicing developing, just your own personal health, things come to start biting you in the ass like later on in life. And I think, and that was mainly the theme Andrew Tate was saying. He's like, if you don't realize that some of this like obsession for being individual and not needing, like family or a partner or anything like this is not just conservative crap. Years down the line, you may regret this. If you're an older woman, and I guess you could say the same thing for men, an older man, and you're not thinking about establishing a family, I think there's an element of truth to that. I don't think it applies for everybody, but I think like that was heavy-handed, and most people don't want to hear that kind of that kind of crap. But I don't think he was technically wrong, and I don't think too many people have the caliber to face somebody and confront them and tell it like it is. Under the right circumstances, of course. You don't just go up to somebody on the street and just start telling them what a horrible wretch of a human they are. But amongst a podcast or a conversation, I think you open the door for debate there. And I honestly, I was like, well, he's not technically wrong, but I'm still holding on to the fact that, yeah, I can see why a lot of people think he's a douche,
Well, when you say technically wrong, is it technically wrong, or if he's just given his opinion or a suggestion for debate? I have no problem with that.
Yeah, he's giving a legit opinion, and I don't know why. That was one of the few that I could find on the internet, but I was like, okay, well, on that note, he seems like an articulate guy. I'm still going to hold on that he doesn't have as much tact, I guess, to like charm people, especially people that he disagrees with politically or philosophically. But I'm like, well, he's not technically wrong. But I mean, maybe nobody has ever been exposed to this, and if they don't hear it now, maybe he's saving them months or years of trial and error. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that like so far what I've seen is that yeah, he's a combination of a little bit of debagnum, a little bit of brutal truth about the trends that Western society has done to kind of split the nuclear family, which I don't think he's technically wrong about that. When you start thinking about the social mores most of us have chased on how to, what we think success is, but then you see the depression rates the anxiety rates that people have, when they hit 30 and they're trying to either like start a family, or people that do have a family, like a single parent, and all of a sudden they realize it's not easy raising kids on your own. But the whole system is trained us all to try to be individual, and it never seemed to make into account people's emotional health, on the whole train on this. And I don't think like somebody who's pointing out the ugly reality of this, the aftermath of like probably 5 decades of this kind of like thinking, is technically in the wrong to say it, because if we don't actually start thinking about these existential issues, you know, I don't see how like the rise, I mean, the rates of depression, anxiety, insecurity, and incompleteness is going to be resolved for many people in the modern world. I just don't see it. We have to recognize there's things that we've developed in the social mores of our society that kind of have to stop, you know? So we need more D-bag people to at least point out some of the unfortunate truths about this. But I don't know if he's the best bastion to represent, the human race in that sense. But
hi, folks. Hit a like and don't forget to subscribe. And share the episodes if you like them. They tell me these segments are great for morning commute and mowing the lawn if you have incredibly good noise-canceling headphones and a very tiny lawn.